Alright, so we're going to start off this lesson by finding the midpoint of a line. As you can see right here, I have a line segment, and I need to somehow cut that in half to find the midpoint. It's actually pretty easy. All we got to do is place, let's label some points first, so I can communicate these. We'll call this point right here A. We'll call this one C. You can label them whatever you'd like. And somehow we have to find a midpoint in here. I'm going to call it B once we find it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the center of my compass and place it on A. And I'm going to choose a circle at random. It doesn't matter as long as it goes past what looks to be the halfway point, but doesn't really go past this point because I want to draw too big of a circle. So I'm just going to choose one. We're going to go with this one right here. Okay. Now I want to remember which one I'm using here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one right here. Doesn't matter, but I'm just going to go ahead and use that one. I'm going to draw half, or maybe not quite a half of a circle. So let's remember that point that I used. I'm going to keep my pencil actually to help me remember. And now I'm going to move my center of my compass over to the point C. Okay. And then I'm going to use, notice how I'm keeping my pencil in that circle. I'm not drawing, but I want to keep an eye on that one. And I'm going to draw the same circle, but just another half. So what I'm left with is this. You'll notice I have two intersecting points here and here. And I'm going to go ahead and label those as well. I'm going to call that D and E. I'm going to draw a line there. And what we've actually constructed here is actually a perpendicular line that bisects AC. And when I say bisects, that means it cuts it into two equal pieces. So we have one thing, we have a 90-degree angle. I'm going to call this point B. But also, what we have here is that this line segment AB is going to be, this AB is going to be congruent to BC. And what that means is we've actually cut AC directly in half. And so we found the midpoint, and that midpoint is at B. That's how we do that problem. Alright, so now you guys should have your worksheet. For day 2, problems 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all about locating the midpoint of each of these lines. You should have already gone through the first example. Why don't you go ahead and try these before watching the rest of this video, and if you're struggling, then go ahead and watch this video. I'm only going to do number 1 though. So let's take a look at that one. You need to locate the midpoint, and it does say make sure to label all your points. So we are going to label my endpoints first. Again, you can label these whatever you would like. Let's go with this point as C. I don't know, C, and I'll call this one T. And somehow I have to find a point in here. I'm going to label it A, so I have CAT for cat. But I'm going to label some point in here, but I can't just guess it. I also am not going to just use my ruler to find that. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm using just my compass and a straight edge to find that midpoint. Alright, so just like in the video before, I'm going to start by putting the center of my compass on C or T. I'm going to go with C this time. And then I'm going to find a circle that goes past what looks to be the midway point. So this looks about the midpoint right here. So I just need to make a circle that goes past that point. It looks like this one will do right here. It has an arrow pointing to it on my compass, so that kind of helps me remember that this is the circle I'm going to use. I'm going to draw kind of a half circle nice and lightly so I don't make a mess. And remember this point. And if we want to count back, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's my 10th dot on the inches side here. So when I come over here and place my center on T, and I flip my compass around, I don't want the 10th dot up here, I want the 10th dot down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm also going to do that same circle over there. Hopefully you guys were able to see that. And now I have these semicircles out here. Let's label those points. We've got this point right here, this point right here. Let's call this one, I don't know, let's go with K. And we'll call this one B. Again, I'm just coming up with some letters. It doesn't matter what letters you use, as long as they're different from all the rest. Alright, now when I draw this line segment from B to K, what we've done is we have cut the line CT in half. So let's label this point right here. We're going to call that A. But also remember that we have a 90-degree angle here, so keep that in mind. You should mark that on yours. And then we also need some notation. Because we've cut the line CT in half, that midpoint is A. So I should know that CA is going to be congruent to AT. And don't forget those line segment symbols there. And that's how you bisect or define the midpoint